Hey everybody, this week we're talking about sit-stand desks. Arms. They're useful. They're good for picking things up.
So why shouldn't monitors have arms too?
Behind this small human is the Desky Pro Plus ergonomic chair. Today we are reviewing the Desky Bluetooth controller. We're doing it again for one last ride. Maybe, I don't know, I might make another Desky video. If you're new here and you're wondering what the video game guy is doing talking about desks, well, you need desks to be able to play video games. So, you know, it's linked. It's been a while, almost 4 years since my original Desky review, and I thought it was time for another update. Now, if you're coming here looking for a discount code for your desk, you don't need to worry about what's been mentioned in my previous videos. All you need to do is click the link in the description below and then take a look at Desky's website for their latest codes. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 main topics: the desk, the monitor arm, this chair behind me over here, and the Bluetooth controller. And a 5th one that you probably haven't thought about. Let's talk about the desk. So you eagle-eyed viewers out there may have noticed that this desk is in a different room, and that's because I've moved it. I've moved it into like a study office type situation. See, my Desky desk used to be over here, and I had to pull the whole thing apart and move it down this hallway into this room. And when you pull things apart, sometimes they just don't go back together the way that they were before. But luckily it all went smoothly. With the help of my wife, I was able to remove the top of this, transfer the legs in here and set it back up again, which is good news. As for the desk itself, it's held up pretty nicely. I don't use any sort of desk mat or mouse pad. And while there's definitely a few scratches here and there, the bamboo hides it really, really well. Now, I did swap out the 2nd gen desk controller at one point, but it's not because the other one failed. It was just because I ended up getting one of the Bluetooth controllers and they needed a new box to make it work properly. Most of you will never need to do this if you're buying a Desky desk today. As for the desk going up and down, it does that as smoothly as it did back in 2001. It's not making any additional noises and it moves very smoothly. My cable management needs work, however. Now, the chair still has a great butt feel and it doesn't really have any wear and tear, but there are 2 things that I will mention. One thing is that the fabric is raised slightly in one section and you can really only see it when it catches a certain amount of light. It does not impact the comfort at all. And 2 is that I still don't like these armrests. They're really uncomfortable. Other than that, the chair is really solid, totally holds up, and is great for your back. It's still a good purchase. Now, as for the monitor arm, it still does the job, and that is holding up my monitor. Man, that's dusty. Speaking of jobs, my 9 to 5 often involves setting up things like monitor arms. Now, I've tried all sorts of monitor arms, from $50 all the way up until $500, and the Desky monitor arm is a good midpoint. I have no complaints whatsoever with this monitor arm. I've never really had to tighten it or do any kind of maintenance. Occasionally I get some questions about a click noise when you hit a midpoint. There's a certain point where the monitor lifts up and down and you hear a click, and that's due to tension. That's pretty normal when it comes to these monitor arms, and it hasn't caused me any problems over the last couple of years, so I wouldn't worry there. We have our full range of movement, and the monitor does not sag or droop forward in any way, which is incredibly important and something that I see on a lot of cheaper monitor arms. In fact, I see it on some of the more expensive ones as well. So we're good with the monitor arm. Now, this Bluetooth controller over here is something that I haven't really talked about. And to be honest with you, it's not a must-have addition, but it is nice to have. There is an RGB light component to it, if you're into that sort of thing. Otherwise, you have the ability to be able to control it with a mobile phone, and it just looks nicer. Now, speaking of additions, I've added some power points down the bottom as well, 8 to be exact. This wasn't something that I purchased when I first got the desk, but something that I wish I got straight away. Adding them later isn't really a problem, but it does tidy things up a little bit. So I think that you should pick some up if you are going to get the desk. Now, the last point that I wanted to mention is delivery. Almost nobody talks about this, but if you are getting a Desky desk delivered, especially in Australia, these things are incredibly heavy. Make sure that you have somebody to help you because you can't rely on the courier to do it. A lot of my friends, family, and viewers like you have purchased these desks, and many of us live in apartments. So if these things are going up a flight of stairs, then you really got to take care of your back. And that's it. If you haven't watched my other Desky videos, then now is the time to do so. They're on screen in front of you. If you have decided to purchase a Desky desk, then please use my link in the description below and make sure you check out the Desky website for any discount codes. They run them pretty regularly and it's going to save you some cash. Other than that, happy desking. Yeah, I'll see you again soon. Bye everyone. My monitor is off. Why is my monitor off?